Quick question. When's the last time you skipped a shower for 3 weeks straight? Now imagine skipping it for your entire life. Congratulations, you just became a Paleolithic human. And somehow, against all odds, your ancestors did not all die of, well, themselves. You've probably pictured ancient humans as filthy, caked in mud, matted hair, smelling like a gym bag left in a hot car. Fun image, also mostly wrong. Ancient humans weren't ignoring hygiene. They just weren't doing it with a loofah and a 10-step skincare routine. So what did they actually use? Let's start simple. Water. Mostly just water. Rivers, lakes, streams. If you lived near one, you used it constantly. Because water wasn't only for drinking. It was the original all-purpose hygiene product. People bathed regularly, not because anyone told them to, but because being covered in your own filth just feels bad. You don't need a health class for that. Your nose does the work for free. Here's where it gets a little unhinged, in the best way. Ashes. Yes, ashes, straight from the fire, rubbed onto skin and then rinsed off. It worked almost like a rough exfoliant, scrubbing away dirt and dead skin. Certain clays got used the same way. Some clays soak up oil and grime naturally, so people packed it onto their skin like a primitive face mask centuries before anyone slapped the word detox onto a jar and charged $40 for it. Teeth. This part should genuinely surprise you. You'd assume ancient humans had a mouth full of regret. Not exactly. People chewed frayed twigs into crude bristle-like brushes and scrubbed their teeth with them. Certain plants got chewed specifically to freshen breath, because apparently even tens of thousands of years ago, nobody wanted to be the person standing too close during a conversation. Now hair, because this is where things get delightfully petty. Simple combs, carved from bone, wood, or antler, show up in the archaeological record way further back than you'd expect. Why bother? Because hair left completely unmanaged becomes a 5-star resort for lice. And lice were an extremely well-documented, extremely unwanted ancient roommate. Combing wasn't vanity, it was closer to warfare. Speaking of unwanted roommates, a huge amount of ancient hygiene wasn't really about looking good. It was about not dying. Intestinal worms and other nasty hitchhikers were everywhere in ancient human remains, and washing hands or food before eating meaningfully cut down exposure to that stuff. Hand washing wasn't etiquette back then. It was a survival strategy with excellent long-term returns. Here's the biggest myth worth destroying. People assume ancient humans were dirty because they didn't understand germs. Sure, nobody was explaining bacteria around a campfire, but you don't need a microscope to notice a pattern. The guy who rinsed his wound in clean water usually lived. The guy who didn't often didn't. Watching what worked and repeating it did the job science would later explain in more detail. Sunscreen existed too, sort of. Various natural pastes and oils made from plants and minerals got rubbed onto skin in sunny regions across history. Not SPF 50, not even close. But not nothing either. Humans have been quietly trying to protect their skin from the sun for a very, very long time. And menstrual hygiene existed, despite what pop culture jokes might suggest. Moss, soft plant fibers, and woven cloth all got used across different cultures and eras. This wasn't some unsolved mystery. It was managed consistently by roughly half of every human population that has ever lived for the entire span of human history without a single video explaining it on a screen. Here's a twist that should genuinely mess with your head a little. In some specific, very real ways, ancient humans may have had healthier skin than you do right now. Modern overwashing, combined with harsh soaps and antibacterial products, can strip away the good bacteria that actually help protect your skin. Your ancestors, with their river baths and ash scrubs, weren't nuking their skin's natural balance twice a day with 3 different products from a bottle promising miracles. This doesn't mean ancient hygiene beats modern hygiene across the board. Let's not get carried away. An infection a modern antibiotic clears in a week could be fatal back then. A dental problem you'd fix in a 40-minute appointment could end a life. This isn't a story about ancient humans secretly having it all figured out. It's a story about people doing remarkably well with almost nothing, using observation, trial, error, and probably a fair amount of, "Get that off me, that's disgusting." And that instinct never actually left you. The urge to wash your hands after touching something gross, to rinse a cut, to want a shower after a long day. None of that is a modern invention. It's an old survival habit, just wearing nicer packaging and standing in a better bathroom. So next time you're in the shower, mildly annoyed you're out of your favorite shampoo, remember this. Somewhere, tens of thousands of years ago, someone stood waist deep in a freezing river, scrubbing ash into their skin, fully convinced they'd figured out the peak of personal cleanliness. And honestly, in a way, they kind of had. You become a Paleolithic human every time you skip a wash day. The good news is, unlike them, you actually get to choose when that happens.